things and learning new stuff and new variations, then your dog's not cut out for it, or you're, as a trainer owner, are not cut out for this kind of work. Number 6, professional behavior by owner on the set. This is huge. If you're going to be part of the training process with your own dog and be on the set and be your dog's advocate in terms of, being a co-trainer for scenes, then you need to have a really good understanding of what's expected of you. You don't make a scene out of things. You don't make the focus of the whole production about you and your dog. But you do advocate your dog's needs and what can be done to actually solve the problem. You're there to solve the problem. You're there as part of making sure the story gets told the way the director and producer, etc., want it to be told. There's no other two ways about it. And also with that comes honesty as to whether or not your dog can do something. So if you're on set and they say, hey, we're going to change this, do you think your dog can do this? Don't say they can when you're pretty sure they can't. Or you don't even know how you're going to solve that problem. That's a huge issue. Along with showing up on time, being quiet, staying out of the way, etc., etc., etc. So I want to go back to this short film, Shelter, and talk about where this was all about. This is a sort of a love child of R.J. Daniel Hanna. He just usually goes by Daniel Hanna, by the way. But if you look him up, you look up R.J. first. So and his girlfriend, and it came from them fostering shelter dogs, and so they decided that they felt this was something to be brought out in a story, so they created this story and shopped it around and got themselves some really good actresses in there, and Clea Duvall and April Grace and Steve Lee Allen. And so I think they made a beautiful story about these characters and sort of had some parallels between the dogs and the humans. And one of the things about this film that I want people to know about is that every single dog that was used in this film was a shelter dog. In fact, Rambo was one of the actors in this one, which he also did very well. And not just to toot my own horn, but he was actually a good cast for what we wanted. So when it comes to these films, you look at this, if you ever get to see it, and I hope you do, the 5 dogs I chose, one of them got cut out of the scene, just like any other actor, but the 5 dogs that were used there were all at least partially trained by me, and all of them had issues. A lot of them had dog aggression. Rambo has people aggression, or he had people aggression. And so all these dogs, ironically, were in this film about shelter dogs that need to be adopted and giving them a chance. And so even one of them, Kian, the service dog, we've made him a feature with his owners on the show before, he was in this show as well. And the thing with this whole process, it was very interesting to see the needs of this show required something that other productions don't actually usually ask for. And that is, we needed dogs that were well trained, but also looked timid and scared. And that's really hard to do. Luckily, I know a lot of timid and scared dogs that are well trained, but in any other situation would not have worked well. But in this situation, did. We needed dogs that would look like they were afraid of people, but would still do the work consistently. And that requires a very special casting. Just like humans casted for, human actors for projects, we also have to look at casting for the dogs. Do they look right for the part? Do they fit the script? But most importantly, do they behave correctly? Do they give the behaviors that we need and the look that we need in terms of their demeanor? And that was the most important thing. That's why Ronan was picked to star in this film as the K-9 lead actor. I'm just talking about the K-9s here. So, same with Rambo. I chose Rambo not just because he's my dog, but he's actually was the most production-trained dog, but because of his fear of people, he naturally gave a very timid look. And so, because he was working, he would trust the actress who led him away to, a scary place. I won't give away what happens in it. But led him away. So he has this like, okay, I trust you, but I'm still timid and scared, and that makes it even more emotional when you find out what happens to Rambo in the short film and Kian and all that. So it was a very powerful choice to use dogs that had issues, who were timid, but also were very well trained and liked to work, and that's their life force as far as they're concerned. And it's using that kind of production training that I use a lot for dogs with issues with aggression, etc. I use production training, even if they're not going into productions, to actually help build their confidence and get them past their issues. So it was a really interesting, perfect marriage of someone needing a bunch of dogs that looked like they were nervous, confused, scared, disoriented, whatever, and still could work and do what we need them to do consistently on the set with the actors and actresses. One of the things that we had to train for was Ronan had to learn how to do a stunt bite. In other words, she had to learn how to snap at a hand and not actually hurt anybody. And so that was one of her biggest scenes, is like getting her to do that. And she's such a people pleaser. It was hard to get her to snap at a hand. And actually it's my hand in the scene, because Clea and nobody else wanted Clea to like risk, possibly accidentally getting bitten. And that's the smartest thing anybody could have chosen to do. So we backed her up on that. But here's a dog who was like trained to like not, bite people, to be calm around people, and she was actually a big people pleaser, and she likes me a lot. She's known me for several years, and it was hard for her to learn to snap at my hand and not feel like she was doing something wrong, because she's a very sensitive dog. So these are some of the things that, like, because she loved to work so much, she was willing to do it over and over again, even though it was kind of a scary thing for her to do. So these are the kinds of little itty-bitty things you have to think about. And changes happen all the time, and you have to be able to go with things on the fly. And then you may have trained for some behaviors, and the dog on the last minute just won't do it on the set. Just won't. And you have to solve the problem. And so it was a very interesting situation, because we needed these emotional dogs that could shut down on us, but because they love to work and that's how they earn their food and their attention from us, it worked out just fine. So it was a fabulous little piece. And one of the things that was kind of fun was that I was hearing from the actors and actresses that and normally when actors and dog actors come together, they don't get to hang out with each other. They're not allowed to bond. They're not allowed to, interact at all or feed them or whatever. But in this case, because we had these well-trained dogs who were told not to actually bond with anybody before, now we're telling them to bond, but we slowly have them bond by just hanging out with them. They'd walk them on the leash, they would talk to them, or just let them smell them, or sometimes feed them, depending on which dog was bonding with which actress. And so it was fun for the actresses, according to them, that they actually got to pet the dogs or work with the dogs a little bit and bond with the dogs a little bit. And so it was kind of a new thing for them, because they've worked on lots of productions with dogs where they couldn't interact with the animals at all. So it was kind of a cool little, marriage of situations that was unusual from production. But normally when you come on the set with the dogs, there is no interactions with the actors and the dogs directly until they're on the set doing the scene and doing their work. There is no, opportunity for the cast members or the, background actors to come and talk to the dog, etc. Because why? We're breaking distractions. We're teaching them to actually look for rewards from other people than the trainers and the handlers. All of those things that breaks down the discipline that we work so hard to get from these dogs, to get consistent work, consistent takes over and over. It takes a lot. It's not about cuteness, guys. I know you all think your dogs are cute, and you should think your dogs are cute, but it's about the behaviors most importantly, and it's about the discipline behind it. And so next time you see a dog in a commercial or a dog on TV, or on film or in even a print modeling thing with like a calendar. I want you to understand the amount of discipline that it took to get that dog to hold still and turn their head just a certain way while somebody else fluffed the collar on the little doggy t-shirt and all that stuff, and still take that over and over again with the lights flashing, etc. That took a hell of a lot of training. It's not just about the looks. It's so much more than that. So if you're interested in doing that kind of thing and having your dog trained for that, you just got to know you got 18 months or so of like solid training every day, pushing the boundaries, coming up with creative ways to distract your dog and get them past it. You have a lot of work to do. About as much time that's put into training a service dog is the same for training the production dogs. So have some respect out there, folks. It's not about cuteness, and it's not just about being a stage mom or dad. It is a serious, serious job for these dogs, and they are freaking awesome to do the stuff they do, even if it's just a few takes. So there it is. What it takes to be a K-9 actor. A whole hell of a lot more discipline than most of us have. That's what it takes. And as far as the short film, Shelter, with Clea Duvall, it's all by R.J. Daniel Hanna. And take a look on the film festival circuit. It was just on Dances with Films in Hollywood. And check out my Facebook page, That Dog Training Show with Tanya Yarbrough, or their Facebook page, Shelter Short, to check out the situation and find out more information and see where else it might be playing. They're going on the circuit and trying to get it picked up. It should be picked up. It's a really, really sweet film, really well done, and I'm proud of their work as much as I'm proud of my work. And Katrina, babe, you saved the show. I'm telling you, it's your dog and you saved the show. So you made me look good, girl. All right, so that's all I've got to really tell you about that particular thing. If you have any questions about it, you can reach me at That Dog Training Show on Instagram or on Twitter, Kazzy Dog Training, Kazzy Dog Train, Kazzi Dog Train, as in the choo-choo train. And That Dog Training Show at gmail.com. You can also reach me there. And that's it. I gotta take a breather because I'm about to cough without some water or something. And as I always say, this is the deal in dog world. To serve is to love. To love is to serve. So give your dog little ways every day to serve you, and in return, you will have served them well. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye.